Okay. I hope everybody who watched this football game today understands just how much of a privilege it was to watch that level of exemplary quarterback play on both sides. I mean, it was thrilling. Um, they talk about some of the great QB duels, Montana versus Marino and Brady versus Manning and all these great quarterback matchups. Well, right on that list, we're gonna see on November. What was it? November. Uh, was it the 10th? November 10th, 2024. We got to watch Sam Darnold versus Mac Jones. I, I, I mean, it was an incredible thing to experience. I mean, I'll never forget it. I mean, this is how you want quarterback play to go in the National Football League. It was amazing. Um, in all seriousness, I'm 100% always in the camp of I'll take the ugly win over the beautiful loss, 1,000 times, 1,000 times out of 1,000. I'm much happier right now than I was like with the Detroit game where it was a competitive loss. It was a little more aesthetically pleasing. This was one of the ugliest football games I've ever seen. Um, and the story most of this game was going to be Sam Darnold single-handedly throwing away, literally throwing away what should have been a very, very easy Vikings win. Um, Time of possession was incredibly in our favor. Total yardage, we got over 400. They got like 140. It was just an absolute dominant performance. It was very kind of similar to last week, the Colt game, where statistically we were really, you know, kicking their ass, but we were leaving points out there. Last week we had a couple missed field goals, along with the turnovers and squandered drives. This game was entirely Sam Darnold throwing it away for much of the game. Um, I mean, I could just make this whole video complaining about Sam Darnold. Uh, Glad we got the win. I don't know how many more we're gonna get with this fucking guy out there. He's getting worse. He's getting worse every game now. I mean, at least last week he had the bad first half. Then he actually played for the most part pretty good in the second half. This no, there was none of that. First drive of the third quarter, he goes and throws another pick right at the goal line. Um, I certainly would have thought it justifiable to put Nick Mullins in, especially after that one to start the third quarter. You know, and this isn't. It's not to say that Nick Mullins is some great quarterback. We saw last year what he is, but you know, we're lucky. We're damn lucky we won this game because Darnold did everything he could to throw it away. Now you could say Mac Jones did everything to throw it away for them, but you know he didn't start throwing. I mean, I think he had all three of his turnovers in the fourth quarter, so he didn't start fucking up really until the fourth quarter. But Darnold just did all the boxes of the things that drive me insane about Sam Darnold. The holding the ball too long and then making stupid decisions. He spun into that sack there on that last drive where they wouldn't have had to get that last pick to seal it. Um, you know, just I don't know what I don't know what's gone. Did when he got the face mask against the ramp, did his brain dislodge or something? I mean, he has just been an absolutely terrible quarterback way too often lately. Um, but again, he's the guy. He's the guy we're rolling with, and maybe he can bounce back at some point and have some good games. But I mean, this was one of the worst defenses we've got left on the schedule. Jacksonville is a bad defense, and we couldn't get the ball in the end zone because he couldn't stop turning the ball over and making stupid decisions. Um, but again, you know, this is bad competition. Mac Jones turnover machine in the fourth quarter, terrible. The two picks he threw, terrible. The final one just a jump ball. Um, and they fumbled a snap. Terrible fourth quarter. Mac Jones, he's not good. There's a reason he's already been confirmed a first round bust. Turns out we're really lucky Trevor Lawrence didn't play because Trevor Lawrence, he ain't that good. But he's better than Mac Jones, and he probably wouldn't have let this happen to his team. Um, but you know, you know, again, so competition very weak. Defense though balled out again. They had the one drive where they weren't good. The one drive where Jacksonville scored. That was it. They only gave up one drive the entire game. They were really good stopping the run. They pressured the quarterback a good amount. I didn't check to see how many sacks they had, but they had a few, and obviously the turnovers were essentially given to them in the fourth quarter, but they did make the plays to get them. Um, and they had a couple of pretty big sacks in there. Cashman had one that was just running over guys. Gink got one. I forget who else got one, but you know, no complaints at all from the defense. You can say it's competition. Well, this defense has shown that if they're not facing the top level competition, they can be pretty damn good, and maybe they can get back to overall being very good. We're not going to face another top offense for a while, so um, you know, big game from the tight ends. Hawkinson had a real big game. One drive, that one long drive that ended up with the first end zone pick by Darnold, which to be fair, probably should have been overturned. On replay, it didn't look like the ball was controlled before it hit the ground. I mean, the officials were horrible in this game. They were missing things. They were not calling things. Then they were doing replay assists, but just at random times. Um, you know, um, um, you know, very very bad officiating performance in this game. Missing obvious stuff on the field that then has to be challenged, or that has to be done on the replay assist. Um, I like the replay assist, but they completely use that at random. There's no rhyme or reason for why it's used. Um, but officials very very bad in this game. But it was kind of it was the one where it was kind of bad both ways. Like they were I thought they were gonna come up with some excuse on that very last play to call offsetting personal fouls. I didn't even get a chance to see the replay of I don't know if someone from Jacksonville took a punch at someone or whatever, but that was obviously fortuitous because I don't know what we would have done there. I don't know if that was going to be because that last play got us to like a 4th and 1. Like, do you go for it there? I mean, if you miss there, they would have had the ball very close. They probably wouldn't have gone for it, but we didn't have to worry about it. But yeah, it's really all on Darnold. The performance of the offense, because they ran the ball pretty good. Jones got dinged up for a while. He took a shot like to the ribs, or like the side of the ribs or something. But he had a good game. Akers had a good game. Ty Chandler, he's back. He got in there for a couple runs and actually had a couple runs. Got us one of our first downs there late. But yeah, big game for the tight ends. Hawkinson, getting a little more back into the swing of things, and he had a big game. I don't know, I forget. I think he had 7 or 8 catches, and he had a bunch of them on one drive. I think he converted 4 or 5 third downs on one drive, and that was the drive that ended with the one Darnold pick. But that's that weapon that we haven't had. So that was very valuable, and Josh Oliver had a couple big catches. Not much from the receivers though, because Darnold was too busy throwing it to the other team. Jefferson, they showed on one replay, Jefferson looked really pissed off after, I think it was the second end zone pick that Darnold threw. Jefferson was really getting pissed off. You can't blame him. This has to go down as one of the worst games ever played by a Vikings quarterback in a win. It's gotta be. I looked it up. Wade Wilson threw 5 picks in a win once. Ironically, that was the game that was played the day after the Twins won the World Series in '87. So that was probably one of the very first Vikings games I ever watched. But I mean, normally if your quarterback throws 3 picks, you're not winning the game, especially on the road. So we got away with one, no question about it. This was the Vikings getting away with one. This was easily their worst win of the year, but I'll take it. But yeah, not much of anything from the receivers. Jefferson statistically didn't have much. Addison, I think, had 1 or 2. Addison was wide open on a couple plays, and Darnold just missed him. it's just everything. Like I always talk about the Darnold roller coaster, but this wasn't even the roller coaster. This was just like we were just sinking. It was every single thing that Darnold could do wrong, he was doing today, and there was really none of the good. Like maybe a couple decent throws here and there, and he had a couple scrambles, and even then that one of those last drives, he does the thing again where he does that spin move and runs way backwards and gets sacked. Now that I blame that on KOC a little bit because in that spot they had just run it into 3rd and 1. You had, I think, under 3 minutes left. You run it there again. You're probably going to pick up the first down. You can even QB sneak it. You run it again. You're going to get the first down. You're going to burn the clock. Whatever. You're going to have to worry about having to get another pick off Mac Jones because they're never going to touch the ball again. But yeah, it was just all on Darnold. So I guess the MVP of the game, Parker Romo. I guess it's just Parker Romo. Before I thought it was John Parker Romo. I think it just goes by Parker Romo. 4 for 4 on the field goals. One of them just barely got in, but 4 for 4. One of them was not a very good snap. So credit Ryan Wright for making a nice hold. And so a very nice debut for him, and he's going to be our kicker for a while because Reichert's was put on IR, so he's out at least until December. But hey, at least we can feel we've got a capable kicker. I think I saw he set the record maybe for the most field goals made by a kicker in his first NFL game. So good on you, Parker Romo, the best Romo in the history of the National Football League, no question about it. So again, I'll take an ugly win. This was ugly. This wasn't 3-0 against the Raiders ugly, but this was pretty damn ugly. I don't know. Again, this is what we're stuck with. We don't have the hotshot rookie coming in here. He ain't gonna be able. He's not coming in this year. We would you can 100% guarantee it that if JJ McCarthy had been healthy, yeah, he would have been held off by Darnold for the first 5, 6, 7 games. But he would be the starting quarterback now. But that's not our reality. We don't have him. We're not going to have him, and the trade deadline's gone. So even if there was some thought of pulling a Dobbs and getting some guy in here to be ready to, maybe we can try Brett Rippon. I don't know, but the Darnold meter is going down, and it's going down fast, and I don't know that I can see it going back up. Because this is just who he is. This is the stuff that made him a bust in New York and Carolina, and it's puzzling that he would be going so far downhill now. You'd think he'd be getting better, as he gets more familiar with an offense, and he gets Hawkinson back, and offensive line shaky. Cam Robinson revenge game didn't really go well. He had there was one real bad penalty he had where it was I think he lined up off sides or something on a play that would have gotten us a 1st and goal. Offensive line wasn't terrible. I don't think he got sacked. He might have only gotten sacked that one time that he spun into it. But he just holds the ball so long. It's just so frustrating. But it's not like it's not like he's strategically holding the ball longer so guys can get open. He's just holding it because he's either he doesn't know what he's supposed to do or he's scared. It's one of the two, and neither of them are good. And then it looks like the Steelers just won. Bears. Bears lost at home to the New England Patriots. So the Bears are officially falling out of relevancy yet again. Nothing else really early in the early games matters for the Vikings. Kirk lost, unfortunately. They missed like 3 field goals in that game. They lost by 3. So that's too bad for him. But I think 49ers beat Tampa Bay, which technically that could go either way. We got the tiebreaker on, so if it ever comes into a tiebreaker for a wild card thing, we got it on them. But also that means Tampa loses, so I think the last out team we might have gained on the last out. It's hard to say. It's stupid to even think about that stuff right now. and and so Washington's going to lose. I don't know who the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles play Dallas today, so that the Eagles might go back into first place. But that means Washington has 3 losses. We've only got 2, so I think for sure we're on the top. We're on the top wild card for at the very least we're going to be there. Um, but what else happened in the road games? Anything of interest? I think Buffalo won. I think who else played in the early games? Trying to rack my brain. Very exciting video. I don't remember. Yeah, the Chiefs won again. They blocked a field goal at the end of the game. So if they happen to go undefeated, which I still don't think they will, that'll be like the greatest blocked field goal in the history of football. But as far as the Vikings go, hey, we're 7-2. We're trudging along here. These last couple of wins have not been pretty. If we had been playing better competition in these last 2 games, we would not have won. If we played just about anybody else today, we would not have won. But I mean, like, I still think certainly I think this team can get into the playoffs. Still, I don't think we can survive many more Darnold games like this, though. I don't know what the solution is because he's the guy. I was certainly would have been okay going to Mullins, but Mullins is not a savior. Mullins is maybe he can also throw stupid interceptions, but maybe he can put up more points. That would be the gamble. But I mean, we saw it last year. Mullins threw a lot of stupid interceptions, made a lot of stupid mistakes, but at least they were scoring points when he's out there. If you're going to get all the bad of Darnold, we were getting some of the bad of Darnold through the first 5-6 games. We were getting little tastes of the bad, but we were getting overwhelmingly good. And now it's really flipping the other way. And I don't know what the solution is with Darnold, because it doesn't make a lot of sense that he should be getting this much worse now. Like, you would think he would have maybe started worse and then gradually shown improvement. I don't know. That's up to KOC, man. He's got to figure it out. He's got to figure out, call plays to get the ball out quicker. But then it's like maybe he is making the calling the plays to get the ball out quicker, and Darnold is just holding the ball. I don't know. I mean, I can't get inside the guy's head, so I don't know what he's doing. I know that he almost cost the Vikings a win today, single-handedly, because really nobody else. I don't have complaints really about anybody else how they played today. It's really just one guy, and this would have last week would have been last week we had a couple missed field goals, so we left some points on the board that way. But then it was also Darnold. Like this game, if he just doesn't turn the ball over, you probably add another 9 points to this, and then it's a pretty comfortable win. An ugly win, but a comfortable win. So I don't know what the solution is. That's the big thing that's going to have to be figured out, because I think this defense is rebounding. Again, not great competition, but so if the defense is fraudulent with their resurgence the last couple weeks, that'll be exposed later. But we've got a lot of other games left against weaker teams, so we should be able to have good defensive performances in those games. But you can't ask your defense to do this every week. You can't ask your defense to go out there and get 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. You can't ask them to give up 140 total yards in a game, because you're not going to. You're that even if you're facing bad competition, sometimes the bad competition has a good game on you, and it's going to have to be figured out with Darnold, because this can't continue. I mean, I know that KOC is the believer in Sam Darnold, and Darnold was one of the big stories early in the season. But and he's going to be the guy. But you got to figure something out with him. You got to figure it out. You got to figure out whatever untapped thing is in this guy that you haven't done yet, to get him to just not be a turnover machine. And it kind of happened last week, because he had a real bad. This game was almost the same thing as last week. We had a really bad first half, leaving all the points out there, having turnovers. And then the second half, Darnold was lights out, except for like that one throw that he threw into like triple coverage. But he was really good. He had 3 touchdown. I think they were 3 touchdown passes. There were at least 3 touchdown drives. And he played really, really well. And he was decisive in getting the ball out quick and getting and making good throws. I was hoping at halftime. My one hope at halftime today was that okay, well maybe it's going to happen again, and it didn't happen. He was bad again. He was bad the whole second half. And he almost cost us the game. I mean, we were given, uh, one of those field goals because the fumbled snap was so close to their end zone. So I mean, like he didn't do anything. Sam Darnold was an absolute net zero for this team today. Not even a net zero, net negative. When I talk about zero would have been a great asset. It's just I don't know what it's all in KOC and Wes Phillips and everybody over there to figure out what to do with this guy because he can't play like this again because I number of times in the history of the National Football League a team has had their starting quarterback have 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the road and you win. I guarantee that the percentages of that happening are very, very, very low. The percentages are low anytime you have turnovers like that. And the defense saved our ass today. So good job, everybody over there. Because, yeah, we had a quarterback sabotaging us today, and I hope this is the last time. Maybe this is the nadir of him, and he can bounce back and just be if Sam Darnold can just be just a boring quarterback for the next how many games left we got now? 8. For the next 8 games, if Sam Darnold can just be a boring quarterback, we are easily in the playoffs. But if he wants to be this guy again, we're going to struggle still to make the playoffs. You probably only need about 3 more wins to get in. But we might not get 3 more wins if he's going to play like this. Because the defense can't shut. You're not going to hold too many teams in single digits. I don't care who you're playing. But and of course, technically the defense held the Colts to single digits last week because they got a touchdown on defense. So defense is stepping up, and Darnold is stepping down, and that has to change. But I will try to finish things positively because the Vikings are 7-2, and they did win, and that's great. It's just worrisome for the future. But all right, I will end positively. We needed this win. We needed this. It's been a bad week, but we needed a win, and we needed a win for the country. Parker Romo, good job. Defense, great job. Aaron Jones, way to tough it out. He came back. He'd been carted off. Thought he was out for the game. Then he came back in and had a couple clutch runs at the end. Almost ran us. I mean, I guess technically he kind of did because they committed a personal foul at the end. But, ran us to almost a first down there. The shadow of our own goal line. T.J. Hockenson, good job. Oliver, good job. Just Sam Darnold, pull your head out of your ass because you're running the risk of sabotaging what could be a pretty good season. So, but hey, I'm going for 24 minutes. I need to stop talking because I'm sure nobody really wants to hear me for this long anyway. So Vikings go 7-2. Next week it's at Tennessee. I think it's going to be Mason Rudolph at quarterback for them. So maybe we can have another big defensive game, but let's stop it with the fucking turnovers. Just maybe we can just become a power running team. I don't know. But so the Vikings are 7-2. What was the final? 12-7. One of the ugliest wins that I've ever seen, but we got it done. And keep pace the division at least. Keep pace certainly for the playoffs, and hopefully KOC can work some wizardry and fix whatever the hell is wrong with Sam Darnold. Because Sam, we need you. we need you to stop this. We need you to be better so we can get in the playoffs and actually be a threat in the playoffs.